This first video after the introduction is just telling time on a normal clock face. I made an image of each minute throughout the school day and broke that series of images up into 7 equal parts for each hour throughout the school day, from 8 o'clock to 3 o'clock. This is a PDF of all of the minutes throughout a school day, from 8 o'clock in the morning to 3 o'clock in the afternoon. It's broken up into those 7 hours, and a link for this PDF is provided in the discussion below. So my suggestion is to download that PDF and use it however you want. So this is the first hour, from 8 o'clock to 9 o'clock. And so as you move through the PDF, you move forward 1 minute each slide. So you get to this one, what does that mean? So depending on the age of the kids that you're talking to, that one is 5 minutes. Well, but it says 1. So what's that one? It's 1 hour. So why does it say 5 minutes? Because there are 12 hours of daytime, 12 hours of nighttime. So 1/12 of 60 minutes. So there's 60 minutes in an hour. 1/12 of 60 minutes is 5 minutes. So it's 5 minutes, 10 minutes, that's 2/12, 15 minutes, 3/12, 4/12, 5/12, 6/12 is half, that's 30 minutes. 7/12, 8/12 is 2/3. So right away you can begin to see a discussion of fractions. Now I found it useful as you scroll around. Once I get to 9 o'clock, I found it useful to talk about fifths. So this is part 2 from 9 o'clock to 10 o'clock. And as I move from 1 minute to the next, what happens to this hour hand? And what happens when that hour hand reaches this first mark right here? Well, that is what fraction of an hour? It is 1/5 of an hour. So I've gone 1/5 of the distance from this 9 o'clock to this 10 o'clock, or 1/5 of that time. And so this has moved, the minute hand has moved to 12 minutes. Well, why 12 minutes? 12 minutes is 1/5 of 60 minutes. So it's 1/5 of an hour. Well, what happens when I move to that second mark for the hour hand? Where's the minute hand? Well, once again, 60 divided by 5 is 12. And now this is 2 of those 12s. Well, 2 times 12 is 24 minutes. So it's a nice discussion of fifths. 3/5 is 36 minutes. 60 divided by 5 is 12, and 3 of those 12s is 36 minutes. So where is it going to go for 4/5? 4 times 12 is 48 minutes, right here. And finally, 5 times 12 is 60 minutes. 5/5, 60 minutes. So then it goes to the next hour, part 3, from 10 o'clock to 11 o'clock. Lots of ways to use this, but the other thing I just want to emphasize at this time is looking at fractions of an hour. So 1 minute is 1/60th of an hour. 2 minutes is 1/30th of an hour. 3 minutes is 1/20th of an hour. 4 minutes is 1/15th of an hour. 5 minutes is 1/12th of an hour. 6 minutes is 1/10th of an hour. Then we get to 7.5 minutes and 8 minutes. 7.5 minutes is actually 1/8 of an hour, and 8 minutes is 1 out of 7.5 parts of an hour. Although 8 and 7.5 are not whole number factors of 60, 8 times 7.5 does equal 60. So here is that multiplication as a decimal, 7 5/10, and here's the same multiplication as a fraction, 7 1/2. They are the same. That means that 7.5 minutes is 1/8 of an hour, and that's useful because 2/8 of an hour is 15 minutes, and 22.5 minutes is 3/8 of an hour. 30 minutes is 4/8 of an hour. 37.5 minutes is 5/8 of an hour. 45 minutes is 6/8 of an hour. And 52.5 minutes is 7/8 of an hour. And of course, 60 minutes is 8/8 of an hour. It also means that 8 minutes is 1 out of 7.5 parts of an hour. Well, 1 over 7.5 is the same as 1 over 15 halves of an hour. And 1 over 15 halves of an hour is equal to 2/15ths of an hour. And that makes sense because we saw earlier that 4 minutes was 1/15 of an hour. Well, 2 times that 4 minutes, or 8 minutes, is going to be 2/15 of an hour, and so on. 10 minutes is 1/6 of an hour. 12 minutes is 1/5 of an hour. 15 minutes is 1/4 of an hour. 20 minutes is 1/3 of an hour. And 30 minutes is 1/2 of an hour. I think this is a useful way of looking at fractions.